This is episode 261 of the Gold Squadron podcast. My name's Dion. There is another Morales. Another what? I'm having another kid.
What? Wow.
No. What?
Yeah, another little girl coming this November.
Oh,
Another pilot.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I thought I'd just drop it right at the beginning of the podcast. It's not even messing around. Just
I read that quote and I was like, is it really?
Is it
really?
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Everybody's like, what?
Well, I wasn't expect. You got to listen to the intro. Get some good nuggets. Yeah. Oh my God. We told my mom on Mother's Day. She was super pumped, and her mom, and yeah. So super excited. Arwen is super pumped to be a big sister. She's already. I jokingly said I was gonna eat the baby's toes, and Arwen looked at me. She said, "No." I was like, oh, whoa. I was joking, but noted. Defensive. Got it.
Hey, she's already protective. So
That's
good.
right. That's a good thing. Well, today, after I just dropped that bomb, I'm joined by Marcel Manzano.
You see, I saw it coming. You saw that? I mean, the stream can't see, but you guys can see that I saw it coming. I felt it in the air or something.
Also, Will Boom. You looking for lists? Hegwood.
How's it going, everybody? I can't follow up with you, Dion's. Getting out. Amazing.
And Ryan, every day is a stroller day now, Staniszewski.
That actually has nothing to do with what Joe just said as well. That's just, now the weather's clearing up. It's nicer out. Like, we're going outside every day on a walk with Ollie in the stroller now. So it's been great. Mm-hmm. But now Dion's going to have everyday stroller day too.
Hype. That's right. I mean, so she'll be born. By the way, can I say technology is amazing? All right. Technology is amazing because we found out normally we wouldn't know if she was a boy or a girl for like another month and a half. But they have this like test where you take the mother's blood, nothing invasive or anything, just you take the mother's blood, and apparently they discovered like, hey, there's like extra DNA in the mother's blood, and we can figure so much stuff out from that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, that didn't exist 6 years ago when Arwen was gestating. Like that.
I'm familiar with that because it was just a year ago. So
yeah.
Speaking of the Mother's Day, like when we told our family about Ollie and Sarah being pregnant, that was also on Mother's Day. Great time to tell mothers.
That's right. Like boom, just dropping baby news all over the place. So, what does that mean? I'm gonna be busy. I'm already busy. I'm gonna be more busy, but it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Anyway, announcements and other announcements and news, X-Wing related now. Release date for the Rogue class and the Republic Z95 has been confirmed by Atomic Mass Games as May 27th. So we only got to wait a few more weeks for those. Those new ships, new expansions, new toys to put on the table. Also, shout out to my man, Michael Bird. Michael Bird has hooked us up with a bunch of community cards to his group in New Jersey, but he hosted the inaugural JF Party Dragon Charity X-Wing Charity Tournament, and they were able to raise $200 for the charity. If you're not familiar with that one, with that charity, it's a local New Jersey charity, and after looking them up, basically, it's a charity is like, they just do stuff for the community. It's like, what do we want to do? They might donate for Toys for Tots one time. They might do, breast cancer awareness another month. Like they basically, it's a whatever they feel like it charity. And shout out to Michael Bird for and his community there for raising that money. That's awesome. And before we get into our main topic of the day, I want to remind you that our podcasts are brought to you by our Gold Squadron patrons. You can go to patreon.com/Gold Squadron to get a part of that Gold Squadron swag that we send out quarterly. Due to some logistical issues, quick reminder to our patrons that quarter 2 and quarter 3 will ship together in July. I made a bunch of posts on Patreon. If you're behind, you can check out to see the sequence of what happened there. But it's not a big deal. We're going to have this awesome art featuring the battle scenes from our GSP backdrops that we had at Adepticon. Shout out to Corey Heald for designing that awesome space battle. We got 6 pilots coming your way, and they look pretty schwanky, in my opinion. But yeah, you can check those out on the Patreon. And we also posted some of the pictures on Discord as well if you want to see what is up there. But first, I want to talk about the new clone Z95 pilots, because we finally have some tasty morsels. We have some pilots with abilities that we've not seen before. All right, new. We're gonna go ahead and go in order. We got Killer here first. Killer, let's go ahead and break that one down, Marcel.
Killer, dependable closer. So he's initiative 2 while you perform an attack. If the defender has 2 or fewer hull remaining, you may roll 1 additional attack die. If you do, gain 1 deplete token after rolling attack dice. And then it's got the versatile frame. We've gone over the chassis already, I believe. We did go over the chassis, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could remind the peeps. Why not?
So it's versatile frame. You can equip 1 proton or not proton. That's in my brain. The protons, 1 torpedo or 1 missile upgrade. While you
this is Marcel telling you, I'm not putting protons on this. Yes,
while your revealed maneuver is blue, add a boost to your action bar. Now, I mean, it's obviously amazing. The first thing that comes to mind is while you perform an attack, not a primary attack. So those missiles and those torpedoes are going to be boosted up as well. And then there are ships like other Z95s. Lieutenant Blunt. Everybody's flying Lieutenant Blunt. Well, he only has 2 hulls, so... so here's a 5-die torpedo coming at you.
Or like Derek Clivian, any of the A-wings, anything with two hull comes out, and Killer's like, kill shot, let's go.
This is pretty cool. And with the missiles, I mean, depending on, I'm
actually tempted to run cluster missiles because of that deplete, so you can get a 4-dice attack on your first cluster, and then you just follow up with maybe a 2-dice cluster, unless you follow up on another damaged ship. Then it's just a regular, back to 3 dice again.
Maybe. I mean, the whole thing is you can do.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what the loadout is.
Yeah, we'll see what the loadout is, and
we're hoping he's got 8-point loadout for those advanced proton torpedoes. Let's go with 6 dice.
I wouldn't mind if he was one of the only 2-cost republics, and they made him 0 loadout.
No loadout. Yeah.
Oh, so that means his ability is basically null. His
ability is primary only if you do that.
No, I mean his versatile frame, like the chassis.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
sure.
There's, I think, plenty of other ships that have that same. Like, if there was there isn't right now, but if there was a 0 loadout T-70 weapons hardpoint, doesn't matter in that regard. But I think I2 is actually really helpful for Killer. Everyone else can shoot before him, and he's shooting later, meaning he's more likely to get his ability off.
Yeah, he's he's the dependable closer. I mean, that's right there on his it's right there on his upgrade. I mean, on his description. While you perform an attack, the defender has 2 or fewer remaining. I mean, the only thing that hurts him is that there's another Z95 in this pack that we'll go over that's probably better, but ¿por qué no los dos? Like, yeah, why not?
Bring
Why
more,
not both?
more.
Got two of them. You can't own one.
Like a month ago or something, we were talking about, or maybe like a month and a half ago, we were talking about, we were guessing what the Z95s for the Republic would be.
Yeah.
And we were thinking, I wasn't thinking, you guys were thinking like, oh, it has to have more hull, it has to have more shield, like it's got to be better. It's got to be better in some way.
Right.
Well, it's better in better pilots.
There you go. I mean, they addressed the little, like a little bit here, a little bit there, but just individually rather than as a chassis, as a whole. So pretty sweet there.
I just realized that it's called Clone Z95 Headhunter. I assume all of these are clones then? I would have to, right? It's called Clone Z95.
I'm guessing it also has something to do with a card that will be unique to Clone Z95 versus Z95.
Oh,
That's a good
maybe.
point. That's a good point. Yeah, because the Z95s thematically that the Rebels end up using, right? They're the same ship that has been modified to work again. So yeah, that checks out. That checks out. Like it's not the Rebellion doesn't fly Z105s. It's the same chassis. All right.
Yeah, so it's
good
just
point.
to keep it out of the hands of Rebel and Scum, probably.
You rebels.
Makes sense.
All right, let's go ahead and check out this next one, Will.
All right, this next one is Drift. This is Initiative 3. His clone designations, CT-1020. Everything else is the same as far as action bar, stats, and versatile frame, but has the ability, while a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 performs an attack, if you have exactly one non-lock red token, that's Ion, Strain, Deplete,
Stress.
and Stress. I believe that's all 4 of them. Or exactly one orange token, Jam, Tractor, Weapons Disabled.
Weapons disabled, which doesn't quite work, but
Well, it's a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 of you.
true. True.
That ship may reroll 1 attack die. So, first off, this is a Howl Runner, a conditional Howl Runner or Drea-like effect. Obviously better in as a force multiplayer. The more people you can give that reroll to, the better. But here's my question for you. What's the easiest way to get a non-lock red token? My mind goes
roll.
to...
I was gonna say, do a barrel roll.
barrel roll.
Okay. Do a barrel roll.
Right.
No, why not? Is there an Initiative 3 Jedi? Yeah, right?
Yeah, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Not Ahsoka specifically, but generic. Maybe
Generics
even
are
Ahsoka,
4.
but you have.
Are they 4? No, generics are 3.
Maybe I might be mistaken, but that force ability that allows you to coordinate two ships of the same.
So battle
meditation.
meditation.
Are they red actions?
No.
Oh, they're white actions.
No,
Okay.
no, that's just a regular coordinate. I mean, my mind goes to dedicated. You could utilize it on, say, the first enemy's attack against your team, and then you're sitting there with the strain. So now you're making your opponent decide: do I shoot the strain Z95, or do I shoot someone who's actually putting out, real damage?
That's cool. Or just do a barrel roll. Like it gives you a.
Is there? I guess Plo Koon could start throwing yellow tokens at him. No, he pulls off red tokens, doesn't he?
He pulls off orange tokens.
Orange tokens.
gives
Okay.
And gives green.
But he can toss him a green. Like he can barrel roll to get the stress and then give him a focus for defense or something like that.
I'm thinking maybe then Hawk in the lat could give him a end of phase boost for a strain, and then he could just not clear it essentially.
I think dedicated.
Wolf
probably one
Pack as
Wolf
well.
Pack, dedicated. Anything that's during engagement phase might actually be pretty good.
Wolfpack would be interesting because everybody would have to be initiative 3 then to get his ability. He'd have to shoot. No, he would just have to be shot at.
Yeah,
Weird.
but the
Actually,
problem is that the Republic faction doesn't fly in formation. I mean, right now the strength with the faction is the V-Wings and the Jedi, and they all want to go do their own thing. The only one that probably wants to fly in some type of block is Wolf and Hawk. I think Wolf and Hawk are probably the only ones that are. And Hawk already gives you the rerolls in a better way. So it's not a garbage ability, but it's also not. This would probably be the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would probably be the third one you reach for, and by the time you're reaching for this one, you've already taken Killer and the one we'll talk about next. And if you're going for a third Z95, you're making a mistake somewhere.
It doesn't really fit the mold of current Republic right now, for sure. And if you're looking for rerolls, like you're probably bringing Hawk in a lat with fire conversions anyway. Just bring more stuff to the table in terms of tools that you can put on it with all that loadout. And what I alluded to earlier with like saying like, oh, maybe Killer could be 2 points with 0 loadout. People are like, well, that's 3 2-point ships. What are you doing in the Republic? Well, I think, I don't know if Dion, you mentioned it before, but it was said and clarified in Twitch reply and seen from their last discussion paint of Star Wars.
Yeah, everything's getting gumbumbled again.
They're doing some amount of points update along with the points release for these new releases. How much of an update or switch around, we don't know, but there's a chance that maybe some 2 swap.
It's enough for them to call it a rebalancing. Like they are actively saying there are changes that we recognize need to happen. So they looked at some of that data from Adepticon and other mysterious sources, and are gonna be able to make are going to make some decisions when it comes to points. But at least my thought for Drift is if they make him a 2-pointer, you don't necessarily even need him to as a 2-pointer. He can have value just on his own. He has the ability to barrel roll, have a reroll, right? He can still potentially have value in a squad depending on how things end up, just as a solo operator, and be able to have a little bit extra maneuverability and do have the ability to, while you reveal a maneuver that's blue, you get a white boost, right? Or add, you have a boost that turn. No, it's add white boost to your action bar, so you don't get the boosts. It's not a bonus, but you can at least barrel roll.
It's not afterburners, but
yeah, you get a bonus barrel roll and a reroll as needed, or as you want. Could be cool. All right, last but not least, Ryan, hit us with the Stubb.
Yep, we got Stubb, the scrappy flyer. It says, while you defend, if the speed of your revealed maneuver is even, as in an even number, 2 and 4 in this case right now, roll 1 additional defense dice. While you perform a primary attack, if the speed of your revealed maneuver is odd, aka 1, 3, and 5, but Xenopies don't have 5s, roll 1 additional attack dice. So depending on the speed of your ship, you are gaining a dice. No matter what you did, it doesn't even have to fully execute. Your revealed maneuver will increase your dice, whether it's defense or offense, depending on the speed you do. I like Stubb a lot, too. I think Killer and Stubb are the top 2 right now. We'll have to see which of the 2 comes out for our best value. But I would like to point out something else very tinfoil hat right now. Zoom in a little bit on Stubb. What ship do we see there?
Enhance.
We see it fighting on Umbara, one of the main arcs in the Clone Wars, specifically shooting at Umbaran starships. Future CIS ship, maybe? And tinfoil hat says yes,
Yes.
it will happen.
That thing looks goofy.
It's from the Star Wars, from the Clone Wars, like one of the first arcs. You see it in there. It's a space pretzel. That's what
That's
it is.
one way to describe it.
If they bring it to X-Wing, it's gonna have a weird dial. I can guarantee you that.
You say it's space pretzel. You know what it reminds me of? It actually reminds me of. You guys remember He-Man?
Nope, I never watched He-Man.
You know,
Like his
Skeletor?
bandolier.
The thing that goes over his thing. He's got like the little. It looks like the little chest strap.
Anyway,
we got to do a comparison.
I think Stubb is really good. And well, barring on his points and upgrade bar itself, points upgrade bar, loadout, everything like that, which is weird. We used to have a pretty good idea in the old point structure and list building where we think a ship was going to land in terms of how many points it was going to be and potential loadout it was going to have. But now with everything so separated between a squad cost, a loadout cost, and the slots being all unique depending on the pilot, who knows? The ability's good. I like it. Will it?
I want to slap afterburners to it. Let's go 3-speed maneuvers.
Yeah. 3 speed, more attack dice, big zoom.
Big zoom. Let's go.
I like it. So, pre-orders, if you want to get your hands on these, to be able to get in your squad, start taking some flights around that table, it is the time to do it now. They're going to be released May 27th. Now, today, we're going to do something a little bit different. This evolved from a small idea and has blossomed into what I hope to be potentially a continuing installment, or an installment that can return as we would like it. And it is, for right now, we're going to call it List Head-to-Head. But specifically, we are going to be shouting out Hexiled Gaming's Kyber Cup series, what they're going on right now. I believe it is Season 6 that's going on. It is a weekly league-style championship. Shout out to Scott and crew for putting that on. And what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be taking a look at actual matchups that are happening in this week of Kyber Cup. They are currently playing Scramble the Transmission is the scenario that they have going this week. And we'll have two hosts face off as if they are the pilots and do a little bit of analysis of the squad for each, while the other person that they're facing off against takes off their headset and waits for the thumbs up on their screen. And after analysis by both, the other two hosts that are left over will essentially give an assessment of each of their tactics and who do they think would have the advantage going into it, being able to evaluate what each of them talked about. That makes sense? Did I miss anything there? I think I got it all.
I missed that I already cheated in Kyber Cup.
I wasn't going to say...
I got it out the way early.
Nice. All right. So this first matchup, we're going to have... it's actually... The actual matchup happening is our very own William Hagewood versus Pavel K. The matchup hasn't happened yet, and we're going to have Ryan sit in the hot seat for Will's list and Marcel in the hot seat for Pavel's list. So we'll go ahead and show you what they are. Ryan, go ahead and give us the lowdown on this matchup. What is the list that you will be evaluating, or what you will be head simming as?
So I will be, like I said, sitting in the chair as Will, who's running a first order list with Gideon, with a kind of two notable crew he likes to carry, which is Agent Terex and Commander Pyre, going with Fanatical and Proud Tradition to round out the loadout. Backdraft with Special Forces Gunner, Fanatical and Fire Control System. Phasma with Special Forces, Fanatical, Fire Control, and then 2 points left opting for Ion Missile. Ember with Proud Tradition, Hull, and Fanatical, and then Nightfall with concussion missile, sensor scramblers, the enhanced suite, and crack shot.
All right, and then Marcel, let's go ahead and take a look at what list you will be representing. This is Pavel's list.
So Pavel is flying a 5 Jedi list. So he's got Luminara with Foresight and calibrated laser targeting with R4P Astromech. Then he's got Mace Windu with Foresight, also R4P Astromech and calibrated laser targeting. Ahsoka Tano with Foresight, calibrated laser targeting, and R3 Astromech. Then he's got Obi-Wan Kenobi with Shattershot, Brilliant Evasion, and R4P17, which I got to see what it is. After you fully execute a red maneuver. Okay, so basically actions after reds. And then Barriss Ophi with R4P44. After you fully execute a maneuver, if there is an enemy ship in your bullseye, gain a calculate token and tracer missiles. So basically 5 Jedi deltas.
All right, so the thing I see right off the bat is normally you expect some missiles on some of these Jedi, but he doesn't have any. It's a lot of bullseye focused shots. They have double reposition, which they can take advantage of. They're at least all I-4 and above, minus Ahsoka. Very good supportive chassis. If this is scramble, what I want to do is try and find the ship that, because the way I'm assuming they're going to fly is a spread and collapse and try and overlap a lot of those bullseyes. So what I want to try and do is, since Commander Pyre's after setup, I want to actually find one of the I-4 ships or even Obi-Wan, whatever is away from Ahsoka, and Pyre that one. Likely Luminara or Obi. If both of them are close, then probably just Mace or Barriss. Since Ahsoka can circumvent the stress a little bit for the enemy, I wanted to see if I can maximize that with Pyre. Luminara is one of my higher considered targets right now because of her capability to neuter some of the offense. Granted, Terex is there to kind of push and get rid of that, basically flipping a focus or flipping a hit to a focus. So kind of have one ship to kind of stop that debuff against you. But I think something like Nightfall would be a good disruptor for Luminara, because once Luminara doesn't have focus tokens, so that force gets depleted really quickly and has to decide whether to use FTC or not, the fine-tune controls for her maneuverability. So I think Nightfall squaring up against Luminara, at least as a disruptor, is a pretty good option. And I think I just want to bring the SFs sort of deployed middle-ish of the board. If I have to deploy first, if I have to deploy second, it's a big bonus for me. But that way they can kind of work as a duo team of high-powered offense, and they could angle to either side of the board that I want, either supporting Nightfall or Ember, who are likely split up on the ends to kind of see which one can get a flank, whether it is Ember or Nightfall. Hask will be supporting probably the SFs in the middle, not necessarily like Hask in the middle between them, but generally around there. Probably geared towards a little bit on Nightfall's side of the board, since Nightfall, if he wants to, can do a 5 straight, stay cloaked, and do a scramble action to get one of the farther away ones, and throw a Terex calc. I've done that before in a list, and it tends to work well. So highest target priority for me, obviously, is Obi-Wan if I can get it, but I'm probably not going to if the player doesn't give me Obi-Wan easy. It's probably Luminara and Ahsoka, some of those supporting pieces that are still 4 cost, to get those off the board, and then take opportunistic shots when you can. Basically force them to really work hard for those bullseyes. They're probably going to go for my SS, so I have to be careful with them and have Gideon ready to coordinate or disrupt with the medium base size to block some of their moves so they can't FTC to get those bullseyes that they want.
All right, great assessment there by Ryan. Let's give him the double thumbs up so we can get Marcel. All right, Ryan, to the booth with you.
You're lucky I looked. I couldn't. I was looking at something else. You would have been here like 15 minutes. All right, what are we doing here? So, I already read off the list. So what's the point? Just say how I like the list. And
So no. You are the Jedi, and the First Order just set down their ships across the table from you. What is your general strategies? What is your target priorities? Things you want to do early in the game? Things like that.
Got it. So this is a scrum, basically action to flip, and being that it's 5 Jedi, I automatically from the beginning feel pretty confident with the ability to take actions and not be hurting from it, especially when I have Ahsoka being able to coordinate somebody. My guess is probably for that exact same reason, Commander Pyre will probably go on Ahsoka. Commander Pyre is basically preventing a turn 1 action for a ship, and in this particular case, Ahsoka is the one that makes the most sense. Now, the other thing to look at is Barriss with the tracer missile. So that's a pretty interesting tech because it basically, outside of Obi-Wan, allows them to shoot with 3 dice in the very first engagement and then give everyone else target locks. Ahsoka give double target locks because actually, is that when she takes the target lock? Wait. Nope, it only gives her 1. But still, it gives target locks to everyone, and 3 of these ships will be able to take advantage of it. Now, what this list is missing is actually, I'm not even sure if it's missing because it does have the foresight in there. I was going to say it's probably missing a little bit of damage potential, but with 3 of the ships having foresight and then 1 of the ships having an additional die potential with shatter shot, it might be able to keep up with the damage race as well. So at this point I'm just spreading out the Jedi. I'm seeing where he goes. He's got he's got initiative 4, and 4 across the board. So the road will matter a fair amount in this one. And I'm trying to think. I feel pretty good about. He's playing against you, right? Well,
Yeah, I'm the First Order player.
Right, but in this situation, you're playing against Ryan.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
You're
I
playing
get it.
against
I get it.
Ryan's perception of the list.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if I'm coming into this game, regardless of who's playing on the other end, I'm flying this list, and the other list is across the board. I feel like I'm probably at a 70-30 advantage, maybe 75-25 advantage. So I would have to make mistakes, and Ryan would have to play out. He would either have to win the variance or do something completely unexpected to be able to hit me, because Pyre really doesn't do a whole lot in this particular one, because all the other ships that don't get double stressed still have that ability to go and claim objectives and be relatively safe. And he doesn't have anything that's shooting up, actually, let me check if he does. He might have 1 sensor jammer enhanced. So Nightfall is probably the only one that can decloak and then shoot forward for, throwing some type of concussion missile at the one that's stressed. But even then, you can protect it. You can protect that by just doing like a small bank and making Nightfall overextend and be out on an island. I'm trying to think what else you have that might be that I might be worried about. Honestly, nothing. I mean, the only thing that I see that I would be worried about is, again, Nightfall being cloaked to begin with. Gideon coordinates it. After he decloaks forward, 5 forward, target lock the ship that's stressed, and throw a missile. But even then, you're shooting a ship that has 3 agility and force to defend itself. So it's not the end of the world, and you'd be overextending yourself to do that. As far as how I would set up, I would probably just set up across the board with Ahsoka in the center, and then ships on 2 ships on either side, and adjust, and feel pretty confident about it. I honestly don't know how you're gonna pull this one off, Will.
We'll see.
Are you ready to bring Ryan back in?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Right.
I don't know how much else to say. It's just
No, that covered a lot.
yeah.
All right. So, Will, I know this is your matchup. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want me
You're
to
muted,
just...
Dion. It says you're muted.
No, I'm not muted anymore. I was earlier.
No, I mean, obviously, I'm going to talk about what these guys said. And the first thing I wanted to note is Marcel's immediately was like, objectives. I'm fast. I can win that game. Get objectives early, which makes a lot of sense to me. What Ryan was saying about prioritizing different targets, right? I think that is going to be important, but the strategy of objectives, I think, definitely favors the Jedi in this matchup.
Which is why I think the First Order player, Ryan, was focusing on murderizing stuff. It's like, if I want to win, I got to kill stuff.
Yeah,
makes
you're
sense.
not gonna out objective the Republic in this sense. So the focus on you have to threaten the Jedi enough to make them consider, should I take the objective action here if this much firepower is pointing my way?
The other thing I wanted to point out that neither player brought up, and I think would be a great weapon for the FO in this case, because the Jedi are going to be spread out, I foresee opportunities for Special Forces Gunner to actually use the bonus attack. So both Special Forces Gunner, as a reminder, you can have a front and a back shot, reducing the front die. You don't get the third die out of the front. What people normally use Special Forces Gunner for, just to have that extra third die out the front. It's going to be a little tough against Jedi, but if you can get consistent you need as many shots as possible. And in a perfect world, the FO does have a turn or two, probably with 6 shots. And depending on where Marcel says, no, I won't let that happen. But if the ships are spread out, that makes it so that there's a
because
chance.
the problem is that you need to have a consistent 2 to 3 shots on one ship in order to consistently. I mean, again, dice will be variance, but in order to consistently put out damage, in order to get a ship to half or below, you need 2 range 2 and 1 shots, or range 2 or 1 shots. Range 3, if you're shooting at range 3, you probably need 3 shots, and that's not to kill it. That's to hurt it.
Right.
To kill a ship consistently, just with the list that you've got, you probably need to point 4 guns at it. And if you're doing that, that means you're letting 4 other Jedi basically have the run of the land. And you're committing yourself while they're collecting objectives and getting behind you and lining up bullseyes. And they also have 1, 2, 3, 5. They have the potential for 8 shots themselves if you're counting the foresights. So it's a rough. I mean, it's a rough one. I would be.
It's an uphill battle. It's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a tough matchup for sure. So, Will, listening to these two players head sim this matchup, who do you think has the advantage?
I think the Marcel's early game strategy, I think will end up paying off. It seems like he's ready to score objectives and not run, but focus on objectives and staying alive.
All right. Well, there we go. We'll see what happens. We'll keep score next week. We'll see how we did. And if we're wrong on this one, that just means that Will was able to subvert expectations. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't be wrong. I played Will. I play as Will. So
right. Exactly.
So Ryan, did you say that you felt the First Order has the advantage in this matchup?
No, I still think the
he didn't
Republic
say
has the
that.
advantage in this scenario. There are things that can be done that could. There is an avenue to victory for sure for the First Order. It's a more difficult avenue than the Republic has right now.
There is a road. It is less traveled, but there is a road. All right.
Actually, as much as you like the idea of the potential multi-attacks front and back, I think with the 3 agility and force, you got to have quality of attack to bring these things down. So keeping that arc
Backdraft
forward
shoots
on
better
the
out the rear.
Yeah,
It's the
but
same out
he's
the rear.
pointing the wrong way. You gotta go
Fair.
early. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. I think we've exhausted that. Dion.
Yes.
It's me versus you for this next matchup.
All right. So the actual players here in this one are Jack Darklighter versus Brendan Edwards. I'll be playing as Brendan Edwards, the FO player, and Will be playing as Jack, the Empire player. Will, you first.
All right. Well, let's break down these lists here.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Don't
I got
leave
excited.
just
I got
yet.
excited.
Just don't leave yet just yet. Let's explain the list here. So this is an Imperial list. I have Soontir Fel with Predator, Outmaneuver, and Hull Upgrade. Merrick Stell with Marksmanship, Crackshot, Fire Control, Afterburners, and Shield Upgrade. Pierce Bach with Predator, Shield, and Seismic. Zyrtec Strom with Thread Tracers, and Fire Control, and then Night Beast to round out the list. And for your First Order?
And for the First Order, we have Commander Malrus, Recoil, Ember, Gideon Hask, and Nightfall. Look, making another appearance here. Commander Malrus with cluster missiles, Recoil and the TIE Silencer with Predator, Ion Torpedoes, Sensor Scramblers for some cloak action, Ember with Predator Fanatical, Hull Upgrade, make it a little more beefy. Gideon Hask in that Psi Shuttle, Elusive, Fanatical, Agent Terex, Commander Pyre. If you got a Psi Shuttle out there, you're going to see Pyre. Pyre is an amazing piece for FO. And Nightfall out there, dishing out those jams, Predator, Concussion Missiles, Sensor Scrambler, and Enhanced Jamming Suite. That is the breakdown of the list. Anybody who's just joining us, again, we are doing some head-to-heads, head simming the strategy for each of these lists versus each other in the Kyber Cup. Shout out to Lambolo in the chat who just showed up. Lambolo, I dropped some big news in the beginning of the episode. Baby number 2 coming. Miss GSP has been imbued with the Force. All right, let us continue. All right. Will, you first?
That's what she said. Sorry, what? Yes. Yes. I'll go first. So, my Imperials here against the mostly initiative for First Order. So my brain immediately thinks I gotta protect that Soontir Fel. It's going to be extremely advantageous for positioning and can get around these more defensive 3 agility ships with that outmaneuver, or get around their defensive nature. Same thing with Merrick Still. It's easy for him to get locks because of the higher initiative. You just can't lock Malorus, but have to deal with that. Then I will say I do actually like all these. These are built out almost optimal in my opinion. Maybe Strom could use a hull, but whatever. I'm not critiquing the list. The problem that I have right away is going to be those jams between Gideon and Nightfall. Could really shut down my target locks. Any defensive nature Pierre Sabak has would have to rely on Predator to get some sort of offense, and the fact that most of these ships will have 3 attack dice between Gideon's cluster missile, the recoils. Who's got an ion torp? Really can't let that. Well, I guess that's not too bad. As far as deactivating Pierre Sabak's ability. But I always kind of want to throw in my. I'm probably going to just bait with Pierre Sabak, Strom, and Night Beast, and really try to focus on getting my 2 higher initiative ships into position to start just getting consistent shots. As far as objectives, I'm going to be pretty lacking here. A lot of my ships are going to need their actions for their offensive modifiers like target locks or some sort of defensive modifier so they just don't pop in a single shot or something. Recoil and Nightfall have those sensor scramblers, so and because of Pyre, I feel like the First Order is just going to jump on me round 1. Just come in screaming as fast as possible and just try to take a couple ships off the board. If they can get objectives, sure, but which makes me really worried about just Merrick. Merrick getting double stressed right off the bat is really going to limit him as far as his positioning to get out of the potential joust. Though I expect they might put it on Soontir Fel. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who you would Pyre. Maybe Pierre Sabak, actually, so he can't ailerons. So I'll have to set up all of my people in a way to where we could both try to go for some objectives, but not end up in a joust as well. And then I'm going to try to focus down Recoil, preferably take him off the board. But Nightfall might be the weaker of all of these guys. I guess he's still got 3 agility, unless we have a token. But really, it's whoever Soontir Fel can get that outmaneuver on. We try to take out ship 1 at a time, basically ignore Gideon, and hope that's not an issue for later down on the road. I do think the First Order has the advantage in objectives in this one because they have a coordinator, so they're a little bit more free to spend that action to scramble. So hopefully I can, man, I don't want to joust them, right? Especially now with Soontir Fel. So if I can at least just get Soontir on the flank, might have to sacrifice that Merrick Stell in the joust, which I'm going to be real sad about. Other than that, focusing on those seismic charges, I'm going to need to squeeze every bit of damage efficiency out to deal with the 3 agility ships. So maybe send Pierce Box through the asteroid field. Hopefully Soontir Fel on the outside, claiming objectives and getting a good outmaneuver approach. And just hope that the X1s and Night Beasts just don't eat it in the initial joust, which is going to be easier to get blasted, I feel like. All right, bring Dion back in here.
All right. Bam.
All right. I've broken down my opinions of the matchup. Now it's your turn, Dion.
All right, let's go. So, real quick here, looking at his list, one of the first things I see out there is Sunterfell. I know that it's a scramble of transmissions. Having the highest initiative gives him the possibility of always at the end being able to flip one of those objectives. Again, in Scramble, we have found that to be one of the objectives out of all of them, that it can snowball really quickly. Having that initiative 6, slight advantage there when you're going to be able to just come in and potentially flip one every turn. So if I'm planning in my scoring, looking at that side of the board where Sunterfell is, essentially it's whatever I scored -1, whatever progress I've done there. So when it comes to the objectives, if I don't get an advantage early, some type of like, I don't think my list with Nightfall and Recoil, I'm glad that I have those two pieces that can move pretty quick. Ember can move fast as well. We can get out there to some objectives, but I'm gonna have to watch out for the firepower that he does have. You got Merrick and Pure Sabak, especially being able to throw out some good dice. Man, those seismic charges could be really dangerous depending on the placement of some of those objectives. I want to go ahead and try to probably neutralize. If I can get Soontir early, I don't want to obsess over it, but if I can get it early, I can see if I can stop that potential -1, essentially on my side, objective point every single turn. When it comes to Commander Pyre, honestly, I'm probably going to go ahead and just put that stress out on Soontir, buy myself a little bit of time there. I don't think there's any way for him to circumvent that Commander Pyre in this list. On my side, I really like the fact that Nightfall can essentially jam and do an action in the same turn if I'm able to fly through people. I really like that. He's gonna need actions. He's gonna need those target locks on the TIE Advanced in order to have offensive output. So I really want to utilize Nightfall for that. Being at initiative 4 might be a bit of an issue going against Zertik Strom, but I can at least hunt Merrick just a little bit, because if I know where Merrick is, I can plan my maneuvers for where Merrick is and potentially be dropping some of those jam tokens on him early. Malrus, I'm trying to remember. The FO Malrus is the glitter stem. I like the potential that I have there. These are all the other three are the three dice attack guns. I'm probably going to keep Malrus near Gideon in order to try to bump that up to 3 attack dice as soon as I can. When it comes to actually setting up, I haven't flown too much of Nightfall, so I'm not entirely sure where I want to put that. Gideon and Commander Malrus, I think, have to start in the middle of the board and kind of adjust in the direction I want. Recoil being a TIE silencer, I can pretty much get wherever I want to go. Ember with the extra maneuverability that the BA has, same thing, same possibilities there. I do like that I can still get an additional action on top of the scenario action every single turn from Recoil and Ember and potentially Nightfall, like I said, with the jam. So I do really like that. Commander Malrus can take scenario actions without having to worry about defensive tokens because of its ability on those critical turns. But again, I have to just watch out not to get caught, because the opposing list has better firepower. So overall, I'm going to be seeing if I can target. I want to put a little heat on Soontir, see if I can make him play a little bit scared. I doubt it. Most people, if you're bringing Soontir, you have to be aggressive. Whoa, shout out to Nickel City actually dropping some subs. Pure Sabak is a potential early target as well, having those 2 agility. So if I see him bringing that towards the middle of the board, I'm definitely going to prioritize that over the 3 agility ships. That's what I got. All right, so Marcel and Ryan. You got
Will's headset back on. There we go.
All right, so Marcel and Ryan, what are your thoughts after hearing the assessment?
I couldn't see it because of the gifted subs. Anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
I want to know what Marcel and Ryan thought.
I don't know. You want to go first, Ryan?
Sure. So, I think at face value, looking between, I think the matchup is pretty even. I know when Dion, you talked about a lot of your concern being on Soontir Fel in that the scramble of transmissions, because he's I6, he always has the opportunity to do a scramble, and then as long as he lines up a bullseye, get his ability.
Mm-hmm.
He can scramble and then reposition to get that bullseye. I think one thing to consider is that Merrick probably never really wants to do a scenario action because he wants to lock to get his dice to even function well.
Yep.
I think that's something to definitely keep in mind, that while Soontir is kind of a +1 in the scramble, Merrick might be a minus in that. He brings a lot of
Good
heat.
point.
If you scenario action in front of Merrick and the Merrick moves after you and locks you, you might be in trouble. I actually think, because you thought about putting Pyre and using it on Soontir, I think actually using it on Merrick or Pure Sabak would be more hurtful to the Imperial list, because you're turning off ailerons for 2 turns, and that lessens Pure Sabak's
forgot about
speed
that.
and squiggle. And also Merrick doesn't have the best of blues to get going up the board, and without his action to lock, his offensive threat is very low. And Soontir all he needs is a bullseye, and he kind of already gets his action anyway.
True that.
So I think it's kind of like a point something at Soontir or disrupt something, and you're good, and like make Soontir think about going 100% offense and doing whatever he wants without maneuvering Predator. But I think getting Pure Sabak's dice, 4 dice off the board early is definitely always a high priority for me when I'm looking at an Imperial list that has Pure Sabak. On the flip side, this is a similar-ish first order list that we talked about, but the recoil is a very good piece I've seen. It's a slightly different Nightfall. And that Commander Malrus actually being I5 in Scramble is also a really good objective getter. You just run up the board, do your scenario action, and then Glitter Stim. And if you really want to be super defensive, get Coordinate and Evade first on the way in from Gideon, like you mentioned, the extra support. What do you think, Marcel, on what else you got?
I'm more in line with what you were saying than what both Will and Dion were saying. And I actually don't think it's much of a. I don't think it's a very. I don't think it's as lopsided as the other matchup that we just went through. But I still think it's a little bit lopsided in favor of the first order in this particular case. With this scenario, that the actions are important. I think that one of the things that that all three of you really didn't take into consideration was Nightfall and was it Recoil?
Recoil Sensor Scrambler.
Right? Yeah. So with Nightfall and Recoil can basically shoot forward and get an objective without much penalty, because you've got 5. Essentially, you'll have 4 or 5 dice depending on how fast the opponent went. Mm-hmm. And I agree. You hire Pure Sabak, like you prevent Pure Sabak from getting in there and throwing 4 dice at you.
Yeah, you
and
could
get
fire
behind
Pierce
you.
Sabak and then put the sensor scrambler guys opposite of where Merrick might be, and then they can't even lock anyone with sensor.
Yeah,
Scrambler.
I was actually thinking
you don't even decloak. You just run up 5 straight, grab your objective, and then just say you can't lock me.
Yeah, because you make that decision. I was thinking like you line one up on each side. Like, you have your side shuttle and the somewhere in the center pointed towards, somewhere in the center where it can reach.
I did one thing right. I put it in the middle. I put the side shuttle in the middle. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you put the side shuttle in the middle, and you put the 2 sensor scramblers at the edge, but close enough to where they can get coordinated. And then at the system face, you decide, okay, this one's a little bit forward. I have to like go too forward and shoot. In that case, you go too forward, shoot, but that's the direction you throw the side shuttle at. Throw it to focus and let it go up there. And the other ship will just do 5 forward with the cloak, have a lot of agility, take the action, and then again, Malrus, or is it Malrus? Glitterstim. Glitterstim basically can survive because of Glitterstim. And that alone gives you that early advantage to get out there and get some early points. And then on top of that, I think it just has more survivability. It doesn't have more damage output, but it has more survivability than the Empire list. One of the things that I do not like about the Empire list is the threat tracers on Zyrtec. Zyrtec threat tracers is amazing when you're got either Tempest, or what are the other ones? Not Tempest, but
Storm.
Yeah, when you got Tempest or Storm that are also at Initiative 3 or Initiative 2, because you leverage the threat tracer for the offensive output of your other I3 and I2s. Pure Sabak is a 4, Marika is a 5, Soonser's a 6. So basically, Night Beast is the only one that's taken advantage of putting out any potential, any shots that are target locked. If you choose to do a threat tracer with Zyrtec, so I think that's just wasted on them. You're better off.
I mean, he self-triggers his own ability. Maybe you could give it to Pierce back for next round.
Exactly, but it's not that you're not taking advantage of it when
immediately. No.
You are hoping to set it up for the next round while the opponent has Nightfall with the suite and potentially his ability, and Gideon that both have jamming effects that can get rid of the most dangerous ones. I agree. The Gideon middle of the board, coordinate someone, and then Kobe them a Terex calculate the other side. It's pretty good support for that first initial get objective.
Yeah, I completely forgot
about talking about Terex.
Yeah, I think this is just below the Republic as far as efficiency for getting the turn 1 objectives. Like, this list is really built really smart to get turn 1 objectives and then still have enough offensive output to get the rest. Even Ember. I mean, if Ember in a, not so much in this particular matchup, but in other matchups where you are going against Initiative 2s or 3s, you still have the option of having a target lock and having some type of modifier when you're going out there and getting your action for, you're getting an action for claiming the objective. So this is a really good turn 1 list, turn 0 and turn 1 list. So I give the advantage to this one, but not as heavily as the first one, probably like a 60-40.
So here's a question. Did I help, or did I make it? Did I raise my chances, keep it even, or lower my chances of if you think on paper the lists are better? Do you think my assessment, if I had played with that mindset?
Your assessment is fine. I mean, again, your assessment is fine. It's just what angle are you going towards to try to get the victory? And I think both you and William
scoop up them points.
Talked about shooting ships and killing ships, which in William's case, probably killing ships is the better choice.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Makes
First
sense.
Order has the option of having at least an early objective advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Empire.
the only thing that you probably, in my opinion, and
Yeah.
it could still work in your game, is focusing on Soontir a little too much.
Yeah.
And I think changing your where
He's hurt me.
Pyre's
He's hurt my
where
heart.
Pyre's stress. Yeah, it hurts. Hey, hurts me too sometimes. But yeah, I think reevaluating where Pyre's stress can go and who
Yeah.
can disrupt and not. Because that's the thing with Sensor Scrambler. The FO list, as Marcel pointed out further, is stronger in the objective grabbing game.
Mm-hmm.
So while you still want to find ships you want to kill or take off the board, probably Pure Sabak first, because that's the 2 agility and it's the gun that is the most dangerous in the beginning. You can still just play Disruptor for a while with stuff like Nightfall and even using the Ion Torp from Recoil, and then like all the tools Gideon has to support and debuff opponents.
I like it. I think we got time for one more. By the way, those of you who are watching, do you guys like this? I'm having fun. Like, I feel like this is a great learning opportunity, even like just for us four to be able to have this analytical time. Do you guys like this? Are we going too deep for you? Give us some feedback. It's always helpful. Let's go ahead. Let's do another. We have more. All right, so in this third matchup that we have here, we're taking a look at Marty Motts versus Totem. Marty Motts is flying a resistance list, which I have been tasked with being the host of, and Totem is going to be played by Marcel, and he's flying a Separatist list. And let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we'll first break down the lists, and then we'll go into the booth as needed. So Marty has brought to the fight, again, this is the second round of that Kyber Cup, Scramble the Transmission, has ZZ Talo, Heroic, Proton Rockets, Advanced Optics, R1J5 in that Fireball, the Ray in the Scavenge YT1300, always a fan, just a big gun out there. Heroic, Novice Technician, Rose Tico, Finn, False Transponder Codes, Ray Millennium Falcon, and then Zori Bliss in that NR2 Y-Wing, dorsal turret, R4 Astromech, Proton Torpedoes, and Wartime Loadout. On the other side, Totem is brought to the matchup a Separatist list. Of course, first pilot, General Grievous. Why would you not? With outmaneuver, impervium plating, afterburners, Solus 1, absolutely classic. HMP droid gunship, which one? The Onderon Oppressor. With ion missiles, Hondo Onaka out there jamming and coordinating with the repulsor stabilizers. Darth Maul in the Sith Infiltrator with Malice, Hate, Jamming Beam, Savage, Oppress, and the Scimitar title. Last but not least, we got a bombardment drone that's one of the hyenas with Connor nets and cluster mines. Fully decked out here. Independent calculations, because it doesn't have any more droid buddies out there, and landing struts. There it is. Who's going in the corner first? Am I? It's me, isn't it? All right.
Got here,
All right, get out. All right. I'll be back.
All right, so let's see. We got. I was still reading the list. I know he was reading it, but I was reading myself. Which one am I? Which one am I in this one?
You're the Separatist. You are Grievous and Maul going up to Ray and Zori.
So, and then a bombardment drone with counter nets, cluster mines, and pendant. Intruder in the background. Let's see. So, General Grievous, great. Darth Maul, interesting without a torpedo. I think that's kind of takes a little bit of the alpha potential out. But I know you're shooting twice, which you've got 4. You've got a total of 4 force, and you're regenerating potentially. With you're throwing crits out there, and you're regenerating every time you get shot or every time you take damage. And then a bombardment drone. I'm a really big fan of the bombardment drones with counter nets and cluster mines. Only 4 ships in this list. The great side about it being only 4 ships in this list is that you've got only 4 ships on the opposite side. I just happen to think that the 4 ships on the opposite side are potentially are doing what you want to do better than you're doing it, or better than I'm doing it. So Dion's list is accomplishing the things that he wants, that I want to do better than I want to do them. Zori Bliss with a proton torpedo, 9 health, and R4 astromech to be able to clear that stress is really good. Ray with basically heroic Rose and Finn is throwing those 4 dice at range 2 and 3 and 5 dice at range 1 with a bunch of rerolls. And then ZZ being able to line up those bullseyes. And then you get it with 3 initiative 5s. My best ship, General Grievous, is initiative 4, and it wants to take advantage of that outmaneuver. The problem is that the outmaneuver it's not going to do a whole lot because Zori Bliss has the rotating arc and probably doesn't even care about being outmaneuvered because it's 1 agility ship. ZZ doesn't really care because it can just rotate the arc as well. And then the Raid also doesn't care because it's got, it's Raid. like whatever.
Marcel, let me rein you back in here. How are you going to capitalize then?
I know. I'm just talking about.
I understand.
I'm talking about my plight, my struggle.
But you're a player who brought this list already. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, you're confident in it.
Yes, I'm confident. I'm so confident. So honestly, what I'm going to try to do in this particular list, I don't have any. Well, I do have 1 coordination, but the coordinate comes at a cost. So I'm probably thinking I'm putting Onderon somewhere in the center to be able to use Hondo ability and basically coordinate whichever ship is going to be. Put Grievous on one end, Darth Maul at the other end. So basically, I'm going to set up with Onderon and bombardment drone in the center, and then Grievous and the Darth Maul flanking. And the ship that is at the receiving end of the bulk of their list is probably going to get the benefit of the is going to get the benefit of the Hondo coordinate in that first or second turn. I don't think I can win the objective matchup here. I also don't think he has a very strong objective game as well. This is probably one of those where the objectives aren't going to come into play very much until turn 2. Like turn 1, maybe Ray wants to stretch out and grab one. ZZ maybe, because at initiative 5 he can reach out, grab one if he's not across from Maul, shoot, get a focus for defense. So I'm probably not going to try to stretch out too much for the first objective unless he is light on one side, and basically just come up the edges and try to converge in the center. If he's lined up across, let's say I put Paul on the right side of the board and he lined up Ray on that side of the board, I'm probably going to slow play it and take advantage of the afterburners to get that objective real quick while I'm boosting inward towards the board, and then basically trying to get Grievous in there to disrupt things as fast as possible. And if it's the other way around, where Grievous is the one that they lined up across from Grievous, then I'm probably going to disengage Grievous, turn him in, and just take a couple turns to get Maul across to the other side. But the problem there is that both ZZ and Ray have a they're very quick, so they can cut distance very easily. So it'll be tough. But that's probably what I would do. I would just set up Onderon and the bombardment drone in the center. Put the heavy hitters on the outside, and just react based on what he did. And the objectives would just be a bonus. I would probably be looking to get both guns on. I would imagine I would try to get as many guns as possible, as quick as possible on Ray, because if I'm not winning the objective game, I have to make up the difference. And if you kill a 4 or 5 point ship, you're gonna make a difference a little bit. ZZ is tough to kill. What's the other one? Zori at 9 hull is also tough to kill, and so is Ray. But Ray gives you 8 points, and it's the one that's probably putting out the most damage and the most consistent damage. So if you can just point everything and lose, I don't care what I lose. If I lose General Grievous and Darth Maul, or on that end, or Darth Maul, plus one of the little ones in exchange for Ray, I'm okay with that. Darth Maul and Ray are both at 8 points. Ouch. But I think Darth Maul can. If I trade Darth Maul for Ray and they're both 8 points, I'm happy with that, because then General Grievous is kind of a beast to try to kind of deal with. So in this one, I feel I'm at a disadvantage by a fair amount. Yeah, I would have to punch and kill things in order to make this work, I think. Specifically Ray. I have to kill Ray. If I don't kill Ray, I don't think I win.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
All right, take mine off.
All right, switch out. Ding, ding.
Ding, ding, fight. All right. Yeah, I'm back in the room. Okay. So, I'll be honest. When I was handed this list, I got a little worried. And the reason that is not right is one of the things that we noted back at Adepticon, mind you, it's been a while, is like the resistance didn't show up. So I was already a little nervous just seeing that I needed to be in the hot seat for the resistance. But I know some of my strengths, just in the list in general. Ray hits like a truck. The thing is that, Grievous also hits like a truck, a slightly smaller truck, but still a truck nonetheless. I have maneuverability with the Fireball and ZZ and Zori Bliss. It's got action shenanigans. Just want to review the ability here. After a ship at range 1 performs an action during its perform action step, if that ship actions on your action bar, you spend the charge to that action. So I think as a base, on a base level, let's want to assess here. I think when it comes to like action economy going into Scramble the Transition, I think we're kind of even, because we both have a force user, a big force user that can potentially deal damage even on a turn where we may have prioritized doing an action, being Ray and a Darth Maul. I do think that it hurts me more spending my action on a Ray, on a turn where Ray is going to be attacking versus Maul's damage output. But I have potentially Rose Tico to back me up on the following turn. In that case, I'll be okay. ZZ's fast. I can get up the board to be able to get some of those the objectives here. Just looking at the Just looking at the initiatives here, ZZ and Ray being at initiative 5 is going to be pretty massive. I think I only have to really contest with Darth Maul, and I think if I'm able to go first, I want to put ZZ on the opposite side of Maul to be able to use the speed of Maul to take up, to be able to go grab some objectives. Same thing with the Fireball. The Fireball is quick, get up the board. If I can, because it's a 4-ship list on 4 ships. R1J5 has nothing, doesn't want to be out there shooting. It is out there for objectives. That's its job. Slam, and the following turn, use it to get an objective. Maybe I'm facing off against, I don't know, maybe I'm willing to go in the corner where the Onderon oppressor is. Though I have a feeling with Hondo out there, it's going to be prioritizing wanting to be in range group. Mind you, that is a pretty massive bubble, which I guess that's where that extra action economy on the other side is going to be coming from, isn't it? Where do you see you jam? It's jamming a ship at range 1 to 3. So what do? Do you jam the bombardment drone and then coordinate Maul or Grievous? Essentially, is what you're doing there.
It's got 2 calculates. It's easy to jam.
Yeah, it's easy to jam. All right. So see, I got it. I got there eventually, right? Savage, new card. After a friendly ship in your front arc at range 1 to 2 gains a stress or a strain token, you may spend a force. If you do the same, gets a focus token. Okay, so Savage also providing a little bit of action economy there. Okay, that's gonna hurt. Okay. Overall, I think in this matchup, I'm going to have to prioritize ZZ and Bucket / R1J5, getting those objectives, and hopefully early Ray and Zori. I'm going to have to lean on offense a little bit, try to clear the bombardment drone and the Onderon oppressor, and essentially it becomes a race with having Grievous and Maul out there in the end game versus what I would hope to be either Ray or Zori alive, one of them, and ZZ and Bucket out there getting me some objectives. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right, Marcel. Ryan, what are your thoughts? I got one thing I can mention, but
I think it was both. I think and this is why I think I liked doing this format. Both players did not feel confident about their list. Even looking at the matchup, you're both like, man, I don't know about this. I feel bad with this. This is good to illustrate, because a lot of people always because when you look at a matchup outside and you're not the players across from each other, or you found out the results of the match after, right? Some results may think it might get in the way, but
right.
Both players could feel bad about the same matchup, but also both players can feel good about the same matchup. It's just how things end up happening. How some people get concerned about certain stuff, and I personally think if I'm looking at this matchup, I think I like the resistance list a little bit more because of Ray's single target output offense, and with heroic, actually, her defense is actually pretty solid within the front arc. And having all of the other main punchers in the list being I5 does kind of scare Grievous a little bit, even though Grievous is really tough to kill still. But the offensive output from ZZ and Zori are situational in that ZZ's is purely from the prockets in terms of a spike damage potential to really go after and kill a ship. While Zori, yes, it's a proton torpedo. It's
still got to get that lock.
It's more likely single modded, the way how I see this game playing out. Now, I get her ability. It just depends on how you want to set things up. If you want everything to strike at once, that's not what this list is going to actually excel at. It's going to be a layered strike. where Ray's gonna be the main punch early. You got Bucket and ZZ to go get the objectives. And because no one, I mean, you could, it's just Zori doesn't have the speed. 3 straight is the fastest speed she can do and still get her own action. And if Ray moves fast enough forward, that's outside of Zori's range 1. Granted, Zori could do a 3 straight, try and get a lock, and then Ray could move up. It's just very telegraphed, is how it's set up, and I think the opponent can play around that. I actually think the Separatist list might have more clear-cut ships to set up the first turn in terms of the HMP and the Hyena are pretty solid. Like, all right, you guys can grab objectives while Grievous and Maul just, you go make something really scared to do an objective action because I'm bringing this offense that I have.
Yeah, the objective getting, which is what I thought was most interesting about both of your guys' thoughts. You prioritize position over objective getting, which both could, in theory, get objectives very easily. Maul's decloak, right? Ray being a large base with a 4 forward, she could reach out and grab an objective. And I'm also surprised, Dion, that you weren't considering just a straight joust something. You talked about being able to deploy second and spreading out away from Maul. But I'm surprised.
Right. I didn't flip the other side of that coin. You're right.
Yeah, you could just straight joust him with that procket.
What's your plan? Murder.
but you didn't think about that, though. You wanted to spread out, make sure that you had some in-game pieces, make sure that you got objectives as well, which I think is very interesting. I wonder how the actual player would do this, because it does remind me of kind of like a Wedge Han combination, like Reg Han Jake, which I've flown a lot, but that has the alpha potential of just roll up and just, well, you can't get away from us, and you can blast them. So I do think for your strategies, the resistance will probably pull it off unless Maul can go in and actually do some real damage, like attacking multiple ships and hitting both of them, like Ray and Zori. Very easy to hit with 3 attack dice on 1 agility normally. Though Ray has heroic now, which I think is amazing. Wow. Adding the blank to reroll both.
Solid.
Pretty crazy stuff. But overall, I think you guys had good strategies, especially against each other, because I feel like this would be very spread out, and then you guys would more or less meet in the middle objectives, as the outside ones kind of get claimed, and you come in to attack and support the rest of your friends.
I do think it. Oh, I thought you were all set.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, though, Marcel is right to be concerned about Grievous, because one wrong step and, range 1 Ray, proton torpedo, and a procket could be coming your way if you're not careful with them.
And Dion, I think this is where realizing, because you have I-5, you can deploy after most of his ships. The only one is Darth Maul. But when you see Darth Maul on the board, like, you kind of know where he can and can't go.
Right.
This is a really good opportunity to illustrate that in this particular matchup, both lists are very kill ship oriented. They don't have a lot of excelling objective play. I don't know if the best quote strategy in this is to even try and get both of your quote unquote objectives anyway. Depending on how the objectives are laid out, just have Bucket get your 1 and then send all 3 of your high power damage ships on one of the sides of the board that you've already seen Grievous or the HMP or the bombardment deploy on, and just to, kind of guesstimating if you deploy after Maul, I think it's like pretty solid in your favor, because then you get to decide, all right, I can place my 3 ships wherever they need to go to do the best offense possible, and I'm just gonna go kill it. Or multiple ships. If there's both Grievous and, say, an HMP on one side of the board, you're like, I really don't want Grievous to get a flank on me. I'd rather just joust him. I don't think he'll accept the joust, but if he does, he's gonna die, so I'll take it.
Marcel did note that he would just turn your Grievous away, right? Is that what you said? You just turn Grievous away. You don't accept that joust.
No, just hard one to the right and okay.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, just hard one in towards the center of the board and 5 forward next one.
Yeah, this is one of the cases where you can just have Bucket take the first objective and then not even count on getting a second objective for you, and just force your opponent to either leave or deal with the firepower that you're throwing at them, which probably means they're good.
All right, fire.
You'll get your second and maybe third objective on your second turn after you've pushed your advantage either through actually doing damage or hurting them very far away.
Cool. All right, so there we go. We were able to break down a few matchups there. If you guys like it, those of you who are maybe listening and watching later, let us know. We can continue to make it a thing. I think this was really insightful, guys. I think this was interesting to see how each of us think. What are some of the holes that we are missing? I know lately with my school year I haven't been able to play as much. So I know I have really enjoyed doing this. So we will be taking some more looks at this, I think, as things go on, as the Kyber Cup continues, and as some upcoming Gold Squadron shenanigans ends up unveiling itself. Hello, little kitty. Before we head out for the night, any shout outs, things you guys want to bring up? How was your May the 4th? I know we're 5 days past, but it still happened.
I ran the stream, and we gave away some ships, and then I got some ships from first edition, but I haven't shipped out the bomber yet. But I did give away a first edition bomber, that beautiful blue. So big shout out to a local PBR Panda who was able to relinquish those from his inventory and let me pass on that Star Wars Day celebrations.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What about you, Ryan?
Didn't really do too much special for May the 4th. There's a lot of prepping for Mother's Day weekend, because it was actually the first overnight stay Ollie's had outside of the house. We went to my mother-in-law's Sarah's mom for Mother's Day weekend over in Holland, Michigan, for the Tulip Festival and on Windmill Island. Sounds really cool. It is a very nice view of a lot of blossoming tulips of crazy amount of colors. Every big social media picture taker person was over there getting their gram pictures and everything, trying to, of
course,
look nice in the flowers and whatnot. But me and Sarah got a little sun. We kept Ollie in the stroller mostly, but took him out a couple times just to kind of be amongst the flowers and take pictures with Sarah and whatnot. So the weekend went well. He slept mostly normal, actually, so he wasn't too swayed by a different area. We just kind of try to mimic the setting with ambient noises, like the hatch thing that we didn't bring, which was okay. We just used our phone just to rain ambient sound play.
Yep.
He did all right in the travel crib too, so worked out.
Nice.
First time was mostly good.
Marcel, how was your May the 4th?
May the 4th. What was it?
Last Wednesday.
That was like 5 days ago. It was fine. Had a post-surgery follow-up all's good, no infections. Yeah, actually, I haven't played a whole lot of X-Wing. I've just played like the ones that I'm committed to, like the Kyber Cup and like the 312 and the things that I've got like
You signed up. You
scheduled
signed
back
up for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a lot of X-Wing. Like he's acting like
Well, no,
it's not
like,
20 games a week, I guess.
No, it's about 1 or 2 games a week that I've been doing, which is a huge step back from what I was playing before. I think I'm just waiting for new stuff,
The rebalancing,
new points. Yeah, it's gotten a little stale without something to practice for. Mm-hmm. And it's just so I'm still playing Elden Ring instead, and
I still haven't played it
6 times before I jumped on here, so I still hate it. Getting bit by my kitty over here, but yeah, just kind of looking forward to enjoy the weather. And I think once things get a little rebalance and some new ships out there, I still haven't opened up the other ones. I got the whatever came in. I think the Gauntlet and the other ones, they're still in the box. I'm waiting for the rebalance in the next round, and then I'll probably at that point do like take everything out, start getting back into the store, figuring it out. Even though I am going to the scrub down.
Yes.
Scrub show. I don't know.
That's next weekend, right? Not this weekend, next weekend?
That is next weekend. I'll be driving.
Oh, really? It's already next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Time flies, man.
I haven't even gotten my hotel yet.
We got to book a hotel. We got to do that.
I need one of you guys to bring me a ship.
Oh, okay. So yeah, next weekend, somebody actually was asking, like, when are you streaming again? So we actually have back-to-back weekends of GSP Live events. I'm going to be driving down to St. Louis for the Scrub Down. That's going to be extended. Weird thing. We'll see what ends up happening. That should be fun. Then the following weekend, will be in Virginia for the Richmond Open. After that, so we have those couple of events in May. We have a bit of a gap. Let me go and look at upcoming events. All right, so we have May. Then we have a bit of a gap. Basically, we have Gen Con, but I don't have it on our schedule because I have yet to hear from AMG. Now, see, I've sent them emails now. This is like 2 months worth of emails asking about Gen Con and haven't got a reply, so now I'm going to make it public. I would love to give you guys free press at Gen Con, AMG. Hook a brother up, Pagani or anybody who's watching. Come on, let me know. Let's make this happen. I love you. Let me love you. That's all I'm asking. All right. So
yeah, you don't even have to pay him again.
You can even not pay me again. Yes.
Gen Con came out with their event list. The X-Wing is on there.
Yes, X-Wing is on there. We're gonna get into that a little bit next week. AMG, hit up the inbox. All right. I would love to do it. All right. So if you want to tweet at them, be like, hey, can GSP stream at Gen Con? Would love to see it. Let's just do it. It's fine. You literally only got to give me a table. I will pay for everything else. That's it. Just give me a table. I'll take a corner, whatever. We've done worse. I think we had a laptop. In the old days, laptop on like a TV dinner tray.
Yeah, it was a TV dinner tray.
We'll
you didn't have a table, just a chair. Did you have a chair? I think you stole a chair from one of the tables, didn't you?
I stole a chair for sure. All right. So we'll talk some more about it later, everybody. But thank you so much for watching. Stay smart. Stay safe. And I just got to survive the concert week. I have a concert this week, and then Devin has a concert this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Nobody puts Dion in the corner except AMG. If they want to, listen. Come on, just do it. Gold Squadron out.